question that we're going to pose today is, what is the role of philanthropy in making relationships work better between different players in a system? Between the government end of it, the business end of it, and civil society end of it.
I used to work for a development agency.
Well, philanthropy really started in Victorian England, really, with, in fact, it all started with chocolate, really. The Cadbury family deciding that as a benevolent organisation they'd help their workers in various ways, and it was private capital seeking to achieve social good and helping others. And since then it's grown, and more wealthy people want to essentially give away some of their wealth to help others.
I think historically a lot of philanthropy has been about treating more of the symptoms rather than the true root cause of some of the issues. And what we're starting to see now is, how do we really find that root cause, which often links back to a systems change or a change of an institution or a change of an incentive structure.
How often it's a specific localized issue that people are trying to solve, and it's not perceived within the bigger picture.
It's not easy to attribute results to a specific program. So you change a rule or you drive a change of behavior, you can't really directly trace those results. And a lot of giving is based on kind of results-orientated programs. They want to very clearly measure and attribute results, and so that's why I think most people steer away from kind of systems level granting, and that's a big problem, because some of the biggest levers, the biggest kind of leverage points are those which operate at a systems level and a rules of the game level, and they have big impacts on those very local projects that people prefer to fund, but across a much wider scale. You know, whilst measurement is important, we shouldn't be complete slaves to it.
The real way we solve these big challenges is where we deploy all the available resources available to us. I want to work with people where they have skills and understanding and knowledge. When we have money, we have skills as well. How can we combine that so we work together to achieve, a shared set of objectives?
Collaboration is really key right now if we want to truly get scale change in the world. And I think looking at the business sector, the not-for-profit sector, and the government sector, and how you bring those together and how you collapse the silos so that we together make a much larger difference.
The area traditionally that philanthropists support is an area that actually could do with a dose of capitalism. So that sort of raw survival of the fittest mentality, where the weak fail and the strong survive, really drive kind of better behavior and better outcomes.
It's a culture of self-preservation, where it could be a culture of great risk-taking.
Historically, the view has been, if you grow your asset base, you get to grow the amount of money that you distribute. And increasingly, people are looking at just the net impact of all of the foundation's activities. In making statements of divestment, that certain corporations and their activities are fundamentally inconsistent with our charitable purpose and our interest in improving the well-being of people in place, you start to think about, you're reminded of what your purpose is as an institution.
I see the evolution of philanthropy being from the traditions of supporting well-intentioned groups through project funding to a much more engaged, strategic way of trying to tackle big issues and using private capital as a form of high-risk capital to test new things, really go to scale and draw on the public sector and other forms of private capital to achieve their objectives, so that they benefit millions of people, not a few hundreds of people.
I think today, with the focus on philanthropy, everybody, either because they're giving it out or because they're out there trying to bring in the philanthropic dollar, everybody's involved in the future of philanthropy. It's ended up in some very powerful collaborations. Taking those really bright, smart ideas and saying, you know what, just push it up a notch or two, we could really achieve huge benefits for people.